Hello friends, thank you for joining me here now in this precious moment where we remember who we are in our heart. Asking to reconnect with that authenticity, the authentic pixel of source that is essentially a tiny little spherical mirror that the one consciousness can peer through and see what does reality look like from the perspective of a character called Hannah with an avatar that looks like this. And it's all just experience, and this one consciousness gets bored for infinity with the perfect love bliss that is the fundamental reality of oneness and love, God, source, love, whatever you want to call it, the quantum fields, the 0 point, the Tao. There's just so many names, and a name can never really fully describe it. It's just a variable to point at the thing. Just like in computer programming, there's variables, and you can always change the variable at any time because the variable is not the thing. It's just pointing in the direction of what something is trying to describe, or just put a word to, put a name to. But it's not the thing itself. So when people get hung up on names and words, it's like, let's just connect to the actual substance, idea, concept that, you know, that name is referring to. And then we have a common ground because we're seeking to connect on the commonality that we share. And we are really all sharing this common experience from the perspective of infinite little pixels. So pretending that there's such a thing as separation. I'm really excited to share this all with you. Just try to find the right angle with the light and whatnot. So I know it looks, there's a lot going on here, just first look at it. So I want to try to see if I can walk you all through this. Okay, this is a big deal for me. It's opening so much more, and it's just the beginning. So I guess I just want to really try to make sure you all can see this well. Okay, so I think this will work. What I've done here is I took Fibonacci, which I showed you all, traditional Fibonacci, we looked at that before. But now I've shifted to working with this vortex-based math and this decimal parity of the 1 through 9 and 0 meaning something totally different. And we cycle through 1 through 9. It's a different number system, so I went to Fibonacci, like you all might have seen with Janine and Carrie, that episode where it was review, but actually that was a new aspect. So here are the 9, and going around in a circle, I have this mod 9 version of Fibonacci. And what you see is that it repeats. There's 24 numbers in the series, and it comes back to 9, and then it starts repeating around again. So when I, really was honing in on that fact, and all the numbers are listed out here, starting with the 9, 1, 1, 2, 3. And you'll notice this 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8 is the same as the traditional Fibonacci. Those first, let's see, not the first, but the second, the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh digits are the same, actually. And if you were to reduce Fibonacci by adding any number, you would add it together until you got a single digit. For example, 12 becomes 3, 1 plus 2 is 3. Or 27 becomes 9, 2 plus 7 is 9. It's pretty simple. You would also come up with these same numbers by doing that. I find this number system to be way more intuitive. It's the precision of perfect units of separation. There's no decimals. I'm a huge fan so far with what I'm encountering. So I took those numbers and I mapped them around the circle. So it's this mod 9 version of Fibonacci that you can see all the numbers I listed down here. Okay, now, I'm just going to shift because I'm sort of crouching here. Okay, so that's what this is. Now, I did that, and then I was connecting, so there's 24 numbers. So if you were to count 8 here, from this, looking at this one, this like blue triangle here, so you were to count 8, 1, or this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's going to then bring you to the next 1, which will connect here. And in this case, it's a 7. But I just was showing you how you could take this 24-pointed star and separate it from any point, separate it into 3 sections of 8. And so then we have these triangles emerge, okay? And I wrote them all up here. Now, the 9 to the 6 and the 9 to the 3. Okay, when we're working with vortex math, we're building circuits here essentially, and this is very related to 0-point energy. So there's certain rules that we need to follow, and one of the rules that I learned from Marko is that the 9 touches the 6, the 9 touches the 3, but the 3 and the 6 never touch. And what this 9 and 6 and 3 with the dotted line here, and it's purple, and you notice I did not draw that line connecting here. I didn't draw the line. I could have drawn a line just like all the other triangles, but I didn't. I left that one open because this is a key rule. And so now okay, so you see that, again, these are 8 apart, 8 apart, and 8 apart. And I did all the different triangles, and you can see how, let's see, this green here, these are all 1s. And this green here, these are all 8s. Okay, you see how nicely that lines up? And the 1 plus 8 equaling 9. Here we have 1, 7, 4, and then 1, 7, 4. Yeah, 1, 4, 7, 1, 7, 4. There's a lot to go into here, but I basically did. So I mapped the Fibonacci all the way around. I found all those triangles, all 8 of the points of 3, except, you know, with the 3 and the 6 not connecting those, because the 9 and the 6 and the 3, this is like a dimensional flux field. This is the divine energy coming from another dimension, from the 9. And I feel it's like a carrier wave. I could be wrong about that. This is just a beautiful concept, though, and it does line up with the decocubit map that we were looking at in the last couple of days. You can see there, the 3 and the 6 never touch one another. There's always a 9 in between them, at least one 9. Anyway, so it basically, now you can see this gold here. Now, it's a little, I know, again, there's a lot going on. I'd like to do this in layers so where I could just show layer by layer, but the grand unified field theory, that VW symbol that we looked at, that goes from here to here to here, all the way here, here, back down and back up where we started. And then that has the 9 and the 3 and the 6 going through it. So I overlaid that grand unified field theory model that's sometimes called the VW symbol, God's light cone, different names for it, that Marko, I feel like he found it and has been working with it, but I really want to find out more about where this came from, which ancient cultures. I think it is something to do with the Baha'i faith. I know that is where Marko has gotten some of his information, is pulling it from scriptures. And this is not new. I mean, you know, for him to look at that is novel, but this overall, I'm just trying to say that the overall concept of looking to ancient texts and ancient spiritual texts for mathematical and scientific wisdom, this is a key theme I keep seeing come up, that overall theme in general. So there's probably a lot more to uncover there of just truths that are just in these sacred texts, and it's really showing us things like 0-point energy. So anyway, so I just want to show how upside down I modeled the VW symbol, and that's why they're overlapping, okay? That same symbol here, 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 here. And I used degrees on the compass, okay? Just starting at 360 degrees, and this is 15 degrees, 30 degrees, 15 degrees apart. If you divide 360 by 24, you get 15. So they're 15 degrees apart, but then to map in that VW symbol, that the Grand Unified Field Theory model, God's light cone, I had to add this 40 degrees here. I had to add certain 5-degree increments. But then you see with basically just trying to see if it aligns with the places that it aligns are at the 9 and the 3 and the 6. That's where, yeah. Anyway, okay, this is a lot here. So basically, I really felt like I needed to show that to you all because at this point, I'm ready to take that and map it into a sphere, a 3D spherical model and then be able to plot all the points in between, because then I'll use that modified Fibonacci or mod 9 Fibonacci as each of the dials on the 3 planes of the X, Y, and Z axis. And I already started mapping this out with a candle to help me draw it in 3D. I was wrapping thread around a spherical beeswax candle, and I was seeing the patterns emerge. I was like, oh yeah, that's how I draw it. And working with modeling to help draw things is super, super cool. So yeah, I'm gonna map out, because I see them like dials that shift together in synchronicity, in synchronicity with one another, and just aligning those dials on the X, Y, and Z axis, and then see what are the points all in between, see if I can basically create a spherical model and then line that up with a toroidal model inside, like the decocubit, like the surface area map of the toroid number map. So, all right, well, that is that for now. I hope you all enjoyed seeing my graphic, and it took me hours to do, but it's just such bliss when I do so. I really feel like I could do it all day, every day, and it's I love it so much, and utilizing it to piece together, what does the fundamental structure of our reality look like, and just opening our inner eye to see and allowing the visions to come through, because that's how this has all been unfolding for me. And I will learn things from other people teach me things, or I'll watch a video and learn something, or read a book, or look at a drawing and do it. But then I realize, really, when we open our eyes to say, well, what am I gonna see? What am I gonna uncover that no one else has noticed? Or maybe it's been a really long time since anyone noticed. Maybe it's ancient times since anyone talked about or knew that concept. And we all have this capability in whatever realm we're operating in. We're just amazing creators, truly. And so it's a really joy for me. I'm so grateful for you all. The vessel of this channel to make these videos really has been instrumental in assisting me to have a way to ground the information, to get the information out so more information can come through. And for me to really, document everything that I'm learning and everything I'm looking at. And I really trying to do it real time with you all. Because, like I said, more is coming through, and so I was like, I better make this video before I start mapping it out in 3D, because then that's a whole nother thing. So I want to keep you all up to speed as much as possible. Feel free to reach out if you're interested in working with this kind of thing. It's like a big puzzle, and this is related to 0-point energy. This is a new realm of science that is available here now, and it's quite fun. And I feel like my best friends in the world are the people that I can do this kind of thing with, and we have fun doing it and mapping it out together. And then it really flies when you start doing it with other people. It goes super speed. All right, so much love to you all. Thank you for joining me here now. And may your day be, or evening, or rising, or wherever you're at, whenever you're at, may be filled with as much bliss, peace, joy, contentment that you need and want, purpose, all of the wonderful things. All right, take care. Talk to you later.